Now, before I give you the tour, you need to watch this quick training video.
Hello everybody, my name is
I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Five Nights at Freddy's, an indie horror game that you guys suggested en masse, and I saw that Yami Mash played it, and he said it was really, really good. Ah, fuck! No! Oh, yeah! Fucking fuck! I tried to push it! Oh, my God!
Horror movies. They're kind of a big staple in the entertainment industry. You got your typical slashers, you got your thrillers, you got your gore porn, and those weird psychological novel-like films that Europeans are obsessed with some reason. Personally, I wouldn't consider them horror movies per se. I would prefer to them mostly as comedy.
Bruh. Okay.
But whatever your thoughts on horror movies are, I personally really enjoy watching them, even the bad ones. And while I was scrolling YouTube looking for some videos about horror movies, I stumbled upon this one, where these two guys were responding to criticism about their film called Human Resources. So after watching this video and promising that I would watch their film and give my criticisms on it in the comments, I downloaded Tubi of all apps so I could watch Human Resources for myself. And after watching it, I can safely say that it's alright. The movie has a pretty cool theme about not letting your dead-end job become your life, but instead of a compelling psychological horror movie based around that theme, the filmmakers just kinda ended up with a generic demon flick. Because we don't have enough of those, am I right? What the hell? So let's not waste any more time and get to the movie about humans using their resources to beat a store demon. That was supposed to be a transition into the review. The movie opens up with a quote. "In all my life, nothing has brought me greater sense of purpose than work." This is something that will become important a little bit later in the video, so let's move on for now. We then cut to a guy holding a bug lantern looking around for something in a storage room. After climbing a ladder, he gets killed by Golden Freddy. We then cut to a scene with these two guys going over a resume from the main character. This scene is also a very subtle reference to how Disney hires its writers.
It's better he doesn't have any experience, no expectations.
Moving on, we see the main character of the movie, Sam, who is trying to find a job but keeps getting rejected. He sits alone in his car, telling himself that it's going to be okay. But when he receives a call from that guy from the previous scene, who asks him, "Yeah, you wanna spend 5 nights at Freddy's?" And then Sam's like, "Yeah, I wanna spend 5 nights at Freddy's." So then he arrives at Brooke's Hardware, and it's here we get to a scene that 100% should be a green screen meme template. So after they watch Markiplier or something, Sam gets introduced to the store, and it's during this we get introduced to Sarah, whose acting is, well...
Oh, are you excited for your first day?
So after that riveting scene, we get to Sam's next day on the job, where he meets this character, who is purely in this movie just for plot convenience and nothing more. We then get a talking scene between Sam and Sarah, and we get to learn a little something about Sam, in which he says that he's in medical school. Oh wow, he's a medical student? That sounds like a really interesting thing to explore in his character. Yeah, no, too bad this is all we get to know about him. Later, Sam then notices that this guy is staring at a wall with the lights off. Ooh, spooky. The guy then snaps out of his wall staring session and says goodnight to Sam, and yeah, that's about it. On his next day, Sam finds some black liquid stuff on the floor and then gets jump scared by Sarah. Sam also discovers this guy, whose name is Brian, by the way. I just forgot to put that earlier in the script. Oh, he's also totally not a bad guy, so don't get the wrong idea. So anyways, Sam is put in the gardening section, and it's here where he meets the average League of Legends player. So after that scene, we get another riveting talking scene between the two, with amazing acting from Sarah.
I can't believe Brian put you on gardening all alone.
We then cut to Sam finding more of that spooky liquid and going off to find a mop. While looking for the mop, Sam comes across a closet where he finds a journal from the guy that at the start of the film. Remember that guy? His name was Keith, by the way. In the journal, Keith reveals that the store isn't what it seems, and that there is something sussy going on, as Keith noted that Brian tried to bribe him to ignore all the creepy shenanigans going on. He then flips to the page that indicates that Keith went to investigate, only to disappear. Sam then shares his discovery with Sarah, and after a while they break into Jean's office to find Keith's record files, only to discover that it's empty. They then converse in the break room and plan on what to do next. So after a very convenient tip from the other employee that you've probably forgotten about by now, Sam goes to the room where the spare files are, but it's locked. He then hears sounds coming from that spooky door. As he listens closely to the sounds from behind the door, Brian catches him and yells at him to get back to work. We cut to a scene where Sam and Sarah talk, and yeah, that's about it. In Gene's office, Sam says he feels like he wants to quit, but Gene's like, don't quit, we'll give you a promotion, and then Sam's like, sounds gay, I'm in. And then that's about it. Sam then tells Sarah that he wants to work at Brooke's full time, and Sarah doesn't like that. So she's like,
Everyone has Uno, dipshit. It came free with your fucking Xbox.
I didn't get it.
You have Uno, you fucking dick. You have Uno!
and that's about it. So after telling Gene what happened to Keith, Gene shows the two Keith's file, which is now no longer empty. Sarah protests, but she's quickly shot down by Gene and Sam, who doesn't help her out because he's fearful of being fired, so she does the audience a favor and leaves the film. After some time passes, we then get to Sam asking Brian about Sarah, which sends Brian to show off how much of a not bad guy he is. And that's about it. Sam then gets this guy to distract Brian so that he can get into his office to find the keys that'll let him into the room with Keith's spare record files. In the room, Sam conveniently finds Keith's files, which reveal that he was indeed killed and that his death was covered up. And my first reaction to watching this scene is, why the hell did they keep this file here? Why didn't they destroy it? Or why did they even bother creating it in the first place? It makes no sense to keep incriminating evidence. So anyways, Sam plans to take down whatever it is going on in this store. And later, he tells Gene that Brian shouldn't work because he's sick, which makes the guy calling the shots Sam. His plan is now in motion. So then Black Friday arrives and the crew gets to work running the store and managing the customers. So after a while, Sam asks Brian if they made the financial goal for the day, and wait a minute, what the fuck? I thought Brian was sick, what is he still doing here? Anyways, Sam tells the new employee that they should leave, but this plunges the store into chaos and the customers don't have anyone at the registers to check them out. Gene attempts to help, but he doesn't know how to operate the cash register. Fucking loser. Sam then tells all the customers that the merchandise will be full priced, which makes everything even more chaotic. All of this causes Gene to fly into a frustrated rage and scratch his own face. Oh my gosh. The store then closes and Sam is free to face whatever is haunting him. Sam then confronts Brian and the two begin to argue. Gene shows up, who is, I think, possessed, I'm not sure. He then attacks Brian, who doesn't put up any kind of a fight, by the way, so he easily gets killed by a hammer. So after killing Brian, Gene unlocks the door to the room Keith was killed in, and it unleashes whatever it is haunting the store. Sam runs for his life, but he's then confronted by that Genshin Impact player from the earlier scene, who then Gene explains that this is actually a demon who took the form of a human. The demon charges at Sam, who then slits his throat with a box cutter and then dies. This causes Gene to go full demon mode and summon a horde of zombies. The zombies then chase Sam down to the room with the bug light where he found Keith's journal, and it turns out that that red light that was hanging above the room is actually something that the demons can't go near because it hurts them, or they just don't like light. I don't know, it's never explained. Gene then monologues and says how they're lost souls who never went to hell, and that he was promised eternal life if he made them bodies, which makes no fucking sense, but I'll get to that at the end of the video. Gene demands Sam give up, but Sam doesn't. He musters up enough courage to resist. This causes Gene to go to the back and cut the power, which allows the demons to charge at him into the room. But at the last second, Sam plugs the bug light into a lantern, which gives him an advantage, which allows him to kill Gene with the box cutter he had. He then fights the zombie demon soul things, and when I say fight, I mean it's literally just a montage of Sam hitting extras with an axe. It's not even that good. The dark red light mixed with the quick cuts makes it almost impossible to see what's happening. Plus you can clearly see the actor missing the extras so he doesn't hurt them. Not to mention the zombies put up no fight at all. He could have literally took them on with his bare hands if he wanted to. Oh wait, never mind, he fucking does! So after that riveting scene, Sam is victorious and he is now limping despite not ever receiving an injury during the fight. He then makes his way to the front of the store where he takes one last look at it in a moment of relief. But But that moment was quickly ruined when a surviving zombie managed to escape from the store. But it's okay, cause Sarah just conveniently shows up out of nowhere and kills it. The two then light the store on fire, which is a callback to an earlier scene when Sarah asked Sam if he wanted to help her burn the store down. They both walk off into the night. Their nightmare finally over. So, what did I think of this movie? Well, it's okay. It's not good, but it's not bad either. The acting was very hit or miss, the music was quite decent but ultimately generic, and the editing and camera work was pretty good here and there, but for the most part they were just alright. As far as characters went, everyone just felt like plot devices whose only purpose was to move the plot along and do nothing else. Sam was the only one who felt the most developed, with him having social anxiety and then overcoming it at the end. But that's all he has. We know nothing else about him or his character. What else is there? The only thing we learn about him is that he's in med school, but the writers don't even do anything with it, so it just becomes a pointless throwaway line. And when he's first introduced, Sam is visibly distraught on not getting a job and is desperate for one. Okay, why does he need a job? Does he have to provide for a family member? Is he in debt? If he's the main character, at least give him something other than his social anxiety. The demons were also another confusing thing. When Gene was monologuing to Sam, he mentioned that the demons need physical bodies to live with humans. But that doesn't really make any sense because they already do have physical bodies. If they didn't, Sam wouldn't have been able to kill any of them. Maybe the red light makes it so they can be killed, but the film never really establishes this, so that couldn't be the case. Also, why doesn't Gene just keep hiring employees so he can just feed them to the demons for bodies? Like, he can just cover up the disappearances like they did with Keith's. Why don't the demons ever try to escape the building? You mean to tell me they willingly stayed confined to that storage room for years? They could have escaped through the storage vents or possessed Brian or something. It's not like they're tied to the store since they can obviously step outside, so why don't they just escape and possess people and make an apocalypse or something? How was that liquid getting around? Was the zombie customer just dropping it, or was it just there so Sam could find something off about the store? But besides all of that, I think the film's most disappointing quality is the core theme. The film starts out trying to be like one of those novel-like psychological horror films, focusing on the themes of workaholism while also having demons in it. Now, workaholism is a really interesting theme to explore, especially in the horror genre, and I kind of wish the film focused more on that and ditched the demon stuff, because throughout the film it just felt like the writers were juggling two different styles of horror, which don't really mix that well, and created a movie with half-baked ideas that never gets any exploration or explanation. He can start to view his work as being too important to ignore, and feel shame whenever he has to take a break. His relationships with other people can start to deteriorate, and his mind slowly blocking out any kind of individualism. Floors, walls, and even clothing will start looking all the same. At home, he hallucinates about his work. He hears the sounds of his workplace constantly, and by the end of the film, he becomes just a mindless drone in the workforce. His looks, his voice, and even his thoughts are just like everyone else's. Maybe he can finally snap and escapes the mental hell he's in, violently or peacefully. Or maybe he accepts his fate and loses who he is, a human being. And I think that would be a lot better than what we got in this film. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to drop a comment down below, like and subscribe. My next video will most likely be on God's Not Dead, a film that I've really wanted to make a video on for a while. Huge shout out to Braden Swipe and his brother. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel, link is in the description below. Without them, I would have never found this movie and made this video. Thank you all for watching. I'm the Nostalgia Critic number 328, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, mates.
كأنه عالم فاضي خيوط الشمس